Hey, listeners, well, this week we witnessed something very special in the sporting world. What does it really take to achieve a lifelong dream? Now, that's an interesting question. Rory McIlroy's Masters victory is more than a sporting milestone. It's an actual powerful example of high performance, resilience, perseverance, and that unwavering focus that every leader can learn from. So let's discuss.
Welcome to Leadership is Changing. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change. This is taking your leadership to another level by finding the balance between executive excellence and personal well-being through stories that inspire real change. It's time to adapt in our fast-moving world when leadership is changing with your host, Denis Gianoutsos.
Welcome to the Ask Dennis episode. This is a freestyle episode where I'm asked a question by our listeners, or I share my thoughts, experiences, and insights from working with many leaders around the globe. Well, listeners, the Masters Tournament. This is held annually at Augusta, a national golf club in Augusta, Georgia in the US. It's probably one of the most prestigious golf tournaments in the world and is always played at this iconic venue. Rory McIlroy completed one of the most elusive achievements in golf, winning the Masters tournament and earning his place among the legends who have won all 4 major championships in their careers. In other words, it's known as the Grand Slam. The Masters tournament, the US Open, the Open Championship, which is also known as the British Open, and the PGA Championship. 6 golfers have actually accomplished this. Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and now Rory McIlroy. The victory was not just a win. It was a gathering or accumulation of years of pressure, setbacks, and that relentless pursuit of a dream. For leaders, McIlroy's journey is a masterclass in a high-performance, long-term focus and emotional resilience. And listeners, this is why I'm sharing this today with you on this Ask Dennis episode, because as I saw Rory McIlroy take that shot and win the Masters, become the Grand Slam winner, he got emotional, but I got emotional as well. And it wasn't about the fact that he won it, but it was the fact what he actually went through over the years. And I'm just going to go through a few things around the lesson from McIlroy, but also what leaders should do and why it matters. So here we go. Number 1 is resilience in the face of adversity. Now, when I say that, first thing I got to say is that some people say, oh, you've got to be resilient. Well, when you're in the midst of it, you're trying to cope. But over time, you build resilience. Now, the lesson here from McIlroy and the way it was actually happening is that in 2011, he experienced a dramatic collapse in the final round of the Masters. And then rather than allowing that moment to define his career, he turned it around into fuel for growth. He kept coming back year after year to the same course that had brought him heartache. So what should leaders do? Number 1 would be here around is embrace failure as a teacher, as a growing opportunity. Too often, leaders view the missteps or the mistakes or something not going well as evidence that they're not cut out for success. But adversity is part of that journey. Resilience means showing up again and again with courage, even when the outcome is uncertain. If you can reframe the setbacks, that's a lot of the battle actually, because you can ask yourself these kind of questions like, what was this situation teaching me? And how can I turn this into a strength? Now, those kind of questions, and for you to sit down and ask them, they're actually very challenging. but it's also very important for us to do. Now, why it matters? Well, resilient leaders inspire confidence. So you can create cultures where teams aren't afraid to take risks because they know mistakes won't end the story. It's just going to shape the chapter or the next chapter. Number 2 is mental preparation and visualization. Now, McIlroy's lesson, what was that? Before the final day of the Masters, McIlroy prepared not just physically, but mentally. He visualized worst-case scenarios, missing short putts, hitting into the water, not to bring negativity to the scenario or to the whole situation, but to really normalize things, to make fear normal. And so then he can neutralize anxiety. And that's one thing he talked about was his ability to actually handle adversity. And guess what? It worked. What leaders should do? Visualize both the win and the challenges. Don't just see the success, but play out tough conversations, possible roadblocks, and real-world scenarios. Prepare your mindset, not just your strategy. Mental rehearsal can actually really help you remain calm and composed under pressure. And I'm not saying to you here, listeners, that you shouldn't practice or that you should practice poorly, because you should practice and do everything well so then you know how to do it well. But also part of your visualization, part of your preparation should be whereby you can plan for all scenarios and know what to do if they happen. So why does it matter? Well, in today's fast-paced, high-pressure environments, mental strength is going to be your competitive advantage. In fact, it's going to be your competitive edge. Leaders who prepare for stress before it hits are better equipped to respond instead of reacting. Number 3 is around patience and long-term commitment. So the lesson from McIlroy was it took 14 years, 11 to 14 years, but he was saying 14 years of professional golf to secure the Grand Slam. For many of those years, the media, the fans, and even fellow golfers really questioned whether he will ever do it. But he stayed the course. Now, what leaders should do here? I would say play the long game. Stay committed to your vision, even when the results don't come instantly. Break the dream down into deliberate milestones and focus on the progress and not the perfection. So why does all of this matter? In an instant results world that we live in today, leadership is a test of patience. Building trust, building culture, and legacy takes time. So those leaders who remain clear and committed during the in-between seasons are the ones who eventually break through. Let me share that again with you, because for some of you, you might be downing tools at certain times in between seasons. But those who remain clear and committed in between seasons are the ones who eventually will break through. Number 4 is support systems and personal balance. Now, McIlroy's lesson here was after winning, he spoke openly about his family, how his wife and daughter helped keep him grounded and reminded him who he was outside of golf. His friends and support crew helped him a lot. That emotional support gave him clarity when it mattered most. What leaders should do here is don't lead alone. Build your circle of influence, your circle of support, mentors, coaches, family, peers, those who keep you anchored. Prioritize well-being. So high performance doesn't mean burnout. It means sustaining excellence with health and perspective. Why it matters? Well, you can't pour from an empty cup, and I've mentioned that in a few other episodes as well. Leaders who protect their energy and nurture their relationships, they're the ones that will lead from a place of strength, not from a place of survival. So if you can apply McIlroy's insights, this is what's going to be interesting. So how leaders can stay focused on their goals is a very important question. Number one, set a clear, unshakable vision. So in other words, define your version of the Grand Slam. Know what success looks like, personally and professionally. Write it down, speak it often, let it guide your decisions, and bring it to life. Number two would be relentlessly consistent. Greatness isn't about occasional brilliance and spurts of it. It's about daily discipline. Whether it's strategic planning, developing your team, shaping culture, looking after yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, consistency wins. Number three is invest in your mindset. So equip yourself to lead under pressure. Meditation, journaling, coaching, or visualization, whatever helps you stay clear and composed, make sure you put it in place, and then make sure it's a non-negotiable. Number four is build your dream team. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and will challenge you to be better. See, no great achievement is done in isolation. Number five is stay the course. Yeah, there's going to be setbacks. Yes, there's going to be silence. Yep, there will be doubt as well. But your dream doesn't expire. Except for if you allow it. Stay locked in, adjust when needed, and keep going. Rory McIlroy didn't just win a golf tournament. He reminded the world what's possible when you stay focused on the dream, no matter how long it takes. Dreams don't have deadlines, but they do require one thing, and that is discipline. So stay committed, stay prepared, and when the moment comes, rise, step up, like McIlroy did. Okay, listeners, your call to action this week is if you need to book a 30-minute strategy call with me to talk about some of these things that we've been talking about in this episode to help you be that leader, to get very clear, to step forward and play the long game of perseverance, well then get in touch with me. Go to my website or look at the link down below. On my website it says book a call. It's a free 30-minute strategy call. We just get on the call and can have a chat about you and what you might need going forward. Well, listeners, that's it for this episode. It's always a pleasure being with you. Thanks for joining me on the Leadership is Changing podcast. Until next time, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Leadership is Changing with your host, Denis Gianoutsos. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change, inspiring executives and leaders to adapt and lead a bigger game in a fast-moving world.